Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an advanced Dungeons & Dragons advice video on player knowledge versus character knowledge. Before I get into this though, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you could hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content on all of your social media platforms, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page on Amazon.com. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find all of my books there, including a science fiction western series called Drifters. There's 3 in the series. A 4th one is just about to come out. I've got it finished. We're getting it published, and it's at its heart, it's a shoot 'em up fist fighting western, and it's got everything in there. It's set in an alternate reality, so there's monsters and mythology and magic and all kinds of different stuff. Anyway, I've been told my books are not like anybody else's, so I hope you get it and I hope you like it. All right, player knowledge versus character knowledge. When a dungeon master or any game master in any game creates an adventure or a scenario, if he or she is any kind of decent quality gamer, he or she will use the knowledge of the world and any knowledge available to the bad guys to try and defeat the player characters. This means he or she has to use character knowledge and not player knowledge. In other words, the bad guy is limited to what he or she knows, just like the player characters are. Keep in mind, bad guys can spy on your characters. They can scry on your characters. They can pay people for information about you, about your characters. But they're limited by the same rule paradigm that your character is. As a player, you cannot make your character act on knowledge that you have, but your player character does not. That is using player knowledge, and it is blatantly illegal. Player knowledge is what you know, but your character may not. Character knowledge is what your character is aware of, what they know, okay? And you may not be aware of it. For example, if you don't know anything about horses, but your character has riding proficiency and knows how to saddle a horse, see what I'm saying? The character knows something you don't. All you're going to do is, well, my character knows how to do this, so I'm going to do this. Boom. And your game master should be cool with it. But if your character somehow time traveled or portaled to another dimension and saw automobiles for the first time, he or she would have no idea how they functioned or how to drive them, even though the player does. See how that works? Another good example would be a group of player characters encounter a bad guy and chase him into a tower where they are ambushed by his lackeys. 2 of the player characters are killed, and the players have to create new characters. These new player characters would have no knowledge of those events, the trap, or even the group of player characters until they encounter the party and are informed of them. See? It works for both players and the dungeon master alike. Player characters and the villains are both constrained by the player knowledge or character knowledge paradigm. What do they know, and when did they know it? I was running a game years ago, and the players were tracking a villain. The villain took a lot of precautions, like walking in streams, staying downwind, not making campfires, avoiding NPC encounters, and the like. What the villain did not know was that one of the players had a bird as a familiar. As I recall, it was an owl. The wizard had a bird's eye view of where this guy was at all times. The wizard, after the game session, commented that he was afraid that the bad guy would kill his owl. My reply was, why would he? He didn't know you had a familiar. Even if he did, what's he going to do? Kill every bird he saw flying in the sky? He'd have no time to run away. Birds are freaking everywhere. Another example of player versus character knowledge was when a player decided to rob a tavern. The place was closed, and he was a first-level character. And this was a fairly new player. He was able to force the window open fairly easy, but when he got into the building, he heard growling in the darkness. Now, he knew, the player knew, that it was just an auditory illusion, because the player had learned about it out of game. He ignored the growling and went on about his pilfering. See, that's outright cheating. It's called using player knowledge. I seriously slashed his experience points. He was a new player, as I said, and he didn't understand what he had done wrong. So the experience point penalty was reasonable. I took him aside and explained what he had done, and he knew better for the future. He became a really great gamer, and after a time, he became a really great dungeon master. As I understand it, he still runs games. I think he's out in California. But the point I'm getting at is the player knowledge, character knowledge paradigm. It is important to understand that in the game, and you have to make sure your players understand that. Not everybody knows everything, and if your player is using knowledge that he doesn't have, yeah, that's it's cheating is what it is. It's all part of the role playing aspect. At any rate, I hope this finds everybody well, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions, please put them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all.